Okay, so we're going to remove these two people. It may lighten up the image a little bit. So what we're going to do is, here's the original open in Photopea. So to lighten something up, you can go to Levels, Control L, and this is a histogram up here. You see where it spikes right here? This is where your blacks start, and you see where it spikes here? This is where your whites start. But you see the square here, this is where the black is, and here's what the white is. So if you bring the white here to this point, you can you can move this out of the way so you can see the background. You can don't go all the way because you see that's going to mess things up. But you know that the white starts here, so you can move it back, actually back down here. That would lighten a little bit. Get rid of you don't need to move the black because it's already black. If you want, you can move the grayscale one way or the other so it can lighten up a little bit. You don't want to do it too much. You're going to want to wash it off too much. Like there. Okay, and click OK. So I already lightened it up. Now call this, double click on this and call it Original. Original. And we're going to make a copy of it because this is when it, just in case, right? So you're going to right click on that layer, duplicate layer. And let's call this one copy, right? You have an original and a copy. Okay, you don't mess with the original, you mess with the copy. And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in here and we're going to clone the background. Now, the background is not the same color throughout. There's a gradient to it because the lighting is coming from over here. So you're going to click on the brush, and on the brush there is a clone tool. So, but you hold down and you select the clone tool. Now, if you hold the Alt key, it will sample whatever you want. So let's say if I hold down the Alt key and click on his eye, now I'm sampling the eye. I can put it anywhere I want, like there. See, there's his eye. We got third eye. But so what I'm going to do is hold the Alt key, sample some of this wall here, maybe from this side. Alt, click on the Alt, hold the Alt down and click on the area that you want to sample. Now the brush, we want to make the brush like this is hard. This is a hard edge brush, and you see what happens when you have a hard edge brush. It's too hard, right? And if you set up a soft brush, then this is what a soft brush looks like. So we want to set it, the brush, set it to like, let's say 30. Okay, and we're going to do is to sample from here and paint them up, and then don't worry about the edge. So keep sampling. You got to keep Alt click. You got to keep sampling. Now I'm painting over his face a little bit. Don't go crazy because I'm trying to sample some of this. So again, Alt click and Alt click, Alt click, Alt click to sample. I'm constantly sampling because otherwise if you don't sample, you just like it just did right there, it just copied another part of the thing here. Alt, keep sampling. You see the cursor on the left, on the top, is where it's telling you it's sampling from. So if I sample here and I'm doing, you see how it just moves. That does that. So you got to keep sampling like that. Okay, there. So we got rid of that. Now we're going to do it on the other side, and you see that this color is different. This color is different. You see that it's a different color. So you got to sample from this, sample from that, and paint it. We're painting it. We're sampling, sample. So sample like that. Now you have 20 undos, I think, here. Everything you do gets recorded on your history. So if you ever want to do something, go back. You can go back and go forward on your history. You got 20 undos, I think. So don't make 21 mistakes, because then that's it. That's all you can do. I think. Can't remember if that's 20 on the settings or Alt. Keep sampling. Alt click. And see? Alt click. Alt click. Alt click. I'm just trying to get the edge. Like that. Alt click. Alt click. So we're laying down the background first on the copy. On the copy, we're doing that. And I'm going over some of the stuff because I know I have an original. So there, I got rid of them. But now let's gotta do the cleanup work, right? So I'm gonna zoom in here again, and we gotta go over his hair. So I'm gonna take the eyeball off of the copy, select the original, zoom in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the polygonal lasso. Hold down on the rectangle and select the polygonal lasso. And what we're going to do is we're going to select him. But the part that is important is where he meets another individual, right? And so I'm going to zigzag, doing zigzag to indicate hair, kind of give him that Lisa Simpson kind of hair, but not really. You're trying to make it look natural, but I'll show you how to also again how to play with that some more. Maybe we can soften that edge so it doesn't look like Lisa Simpson. Okay, so I'm trying to add zigzags back and forth to indicate hair. You know, we don't want to make it look like it's Photoshop. We're going to try to make it look like it's natural. Now I'm eating a little bit of the ear right there so that I don't get a white halo or a black halo around his ear. So then, because then it will look like it's photoshopped, right? So, and try to do short clicks. If you do long clicks, he's gonna look like he's got a polygonal or a hexagonal head, and it's gonna look obviously Photoshop. You want to make it look you want to make the lines natural. You don't want to make it look like you just took some sort of a machete and started hacking away. You got like a big cuts on the thing. So here's the other shoulder from the other person, right? And going up. So this is where the other individual is touching. That's all. This is the important. I'm holding the space bar, by the way, and then left clicking to move around. So click, and doing short clicks. Hold the space bar, clicking down. Let's say I accidentally made a mistake. I went, oh, I didn't finish my selection. This happens. Don't start over. Just go ahead and mask it. Click on the mask, right? Now, we're going to move this, drag the original to the top, okay? And we need to invert the selection. We don't want to see him, right? So right now you see that you can see the edge on him like that. So invert the selection, Control I if you're selecting this mask, Control I, and then inverse the selection. I need to clean this up a little bit more. It doesn't look as clean as it should. And I can see a little bit of a black halo here. You can see a little bit of a black halo here where I didn't do such a good job. This doesn't look too bad. They got the Lisa Simpson hair here. Okay, and this is the mistake because I closed too early, right? So what you got to do, hide that. Actually, disable the layer. Right click, disable the mask, right? So we need to add this part, right? So the part that I mess up on is this part right here, right there. That's the part that I mess up on, right? So you got to go back into the mask. You go Alt, click on the mask. And we got to make this black. So go to Edit, fill, select on the foreground, select black and fill it. There you go. Control D to deselect. Put your right click on the mask and enable it in there. So there. But I can see there's some errors here in this. So what I'm going to do here on this, disable the mask again, and I'm going to eat a little bit more of this. You see, I'm eating like a pixel inside so that I don't get this white halo, or I mean black halo. So eating part of the sweatshirt right there. And again, to go inside the mask, Alt, click on the mask. And you can also use the brush, like the paintbrush, and paint this area with black. You can, oops, what happened? Frozen. So I'm painting that area with black. Control D to deselect. And enable the mask. Click on the image. That's better. That's a little bit. Now, I noticed that I didn't do such a good job here with the background. So I'm going to go back to the copy and sample with the clone tool, sample a little bit of this color and soften that. Let's see if that did it. What was the other thing that didn't look right? I think that was it, right? Okay, now you notice that he's got the Lisa Simpson hair right here, where it's soft here but hard here. So click on the mask. Click on the mask right here on the layers. Click on the blur droplet, the blur thing, and then you're going to do this to the mask, not to the picture, and rub that edge, and that will soften the selection a little bit. Don't overdo it. Just soften the selection right there. There. Now leave the ear alone. There you go. That softened the selection, and looks perfect like that. Except for this, I can still see your edge right there. Let me see. Doesn't seem to match the color. So I'm going to have to soften this edge too. Alt, left click. Here's you can see that here's the hair that's been softened. You can soften this edge too with the blur. Increase the intensity to 100 and rub this edge here like that. Soften it a little bit. Let's see if that works. Maybe that's not going to work. Let's see. Or you can paint it. You can use the airbrush. Get a soft brush down to 0. And by painting with a soft brush like this, you soften that edge. Oops, I think I did too much. Don't get too close to the jacket. Let's see what that looks like. Enable. Wait a minute. Oh no, okay, I click on the image and enable the mask. There. Soft. Can't even notice that. See that? And then we're going to do the same thing with the other picture. We're going to, what time do we have? Can I do it in, okay. And then, so then with this one, again, we select him. And the only important part, you notice I'm just going in between, is where the hair, his hair, let's try to give him some Lisa Simpson hair. If you go too fast, it will, because if you double click, it will close the selection. So you can't go too fast. I tend to do that and it closes the selection. But if it does, you can add it to the mask. You see, I can't even see where the sleeve comes in. I think it's right here. And then the other jacket, I think it's that was